In this tutorial, we will continue exploring map visualization with xParticles in Cinema 4D. Discover advanced techniques and bring your maps to life like never before. Let's dive in and learn together. Now let's bring our map to life by using Insidium xParticle. If we select xParticle XP system, and if we select XP emitter, here emitter shape, and we will select the object. If we play, there is nothing happening because we need an object to emit from. So this map that we already have here, if we select XP emitter, just drag it to the object. Let's be organized and put our map on utility, hold Alt and double click, and also we select XP emitter, emission and speed. We don't need any speed now. We can see better how will be emitted particles on our map. If we select again XP emitter and in object here emit from, we can select polygons or polygon area, and now easily created our map with particles. Another way to bring your map to life is just using a texture and the image of the map that you have. Here we created a simple plane, and in XP emitter shape, we select the object and we drag our plane in object. And if we play here, we see every polygon start emitting, but we don't want this. We want our map be on the surface. We just create, double click here, a material, and we add a texture here. Let's load a texture that we already created. And now we drag our texture on our plane. But the map is not perfectly matched with the plane that we are created, and because the different size that they have. In Photoshop, if we select image and image size, we can see the width and height easily. We just need to copy this both to our plane in Cinema 4D. Let's select the plane, and width we will paste 2450 and the height 3319, and let's play again. But still we have the problem that is still only from the surface, is not from the map. We want the particles create easily the map. For this we select XP emitter, and in emitting from, instead of center or polygon, we just select a texture. And here we have a texture option created. We just need to drag our map material in the texture tag that we have here. And now let's play again. Let's just hold the Alt and double click, XP emitter, emission, we just put the speed 0, and now let's see, easily our map is created. Now we have our new map and we want to visualize it and bring it to life using xParticle. Here we just create an xParticle XP system, and if we select XP emitter and if we play here, emitter, object, emitter, here select object. And in object we drag our map here. And now if we play, it's emitting directly from the surface of the map. Let's here select XP emitter, and in emission we put just 0. And now let's hold Alt and double click and just hide the map. And let's say we want to have all the surface easily. Again, XP emitter and object, we emit from, instead of polygon center, we select polygon area. But they are distributed and kind of randomly. We want to have more control on the distribution. And here, to distribute the particles equally on the surface of the map, we select utilities, and here we will select xpCirclePacker. And if we select here, he need an emitter, and we will already drag our emitter that we have. And we have more control on distance between the particles. If we select xpCirclePacker here, we have some option to play with. For example, the maximum radius we can put, for example, 10. You can see here the particles start growing. Let's change the color. If we select XP emitter, and in display we select gradient random. Let's see how we look like. And now we're back again to xpCirclePacker, and here you can, for example, 25, and you see you have control on the variation of the size easily with just playing with the max and minimum radius. Let's here, for example, put 5, and you see we have the less number of the particles. The minimum radius we will write, for example, half, and here also 10. And you see we have much more number of the particles. So this can be also for your map visualization. And another beautiful thing is that we can animate the scale of the particles easily just in xpCirclePacker. Here scaling, we have scale up and scale down. If we select a scale up, they are animating and they are visually coming to life. And if we select a scale down, now they are bringing to life and now they go. And we have here with the scale down, with this graph, we can play and have control at what time they stay and how long they should stay and they disappear. You can easily art direct the particle in and out and create beautiful visuals for your map visualizations. And if you want to change the spheres to another objects, easily in generator we come here and select xpSprite and we drag our emitter here. Now we have easily changed to another sort of shapes, and which is cubes here, and you can select any objects that you wanted to see, for example disk, or you can change here the direction orientation. And playing with the colors also, you can select in display and here select other colors that you want and you like for your map visualizations, or add your favorite colors easily here. Another way to distribute the particles on the surface of the map is using a texture map, for example noise or gradient as a shader. We just select xpEmitter in object, and emitter shape we select object, and in object we drag our map already here. And if we play, just we go xpEmitter emission speed 0, and if we hold alt double click, we just see the particles emitting. And now we want to see the distribution different. You want to have more control on the particle distribution of the surface, not only selecting polygon areas. For example, we can select emit from again the texture, and we just need here to create a material. If we double click, and in material we have texture, and in texture we will, for example, select a noise here. Let's bring the map back again and drag our noise on our map, and we can see on preview the noise map. If we select the texture here, our noise, and click here, we can play with the contrast. We can play with the scale of noise here. The noise here is not distributed correctly. For this we just select here, and projection we just select the cubic for now, and now it looks much better. And with Ctrl R you can see in preview everything look good. We have now control on distribution of the particles, that they be generated only on white areas, and black areas will be no particles. And this will help you for your visualizations, so that you have more control. Let's see how we can do it. Easily we select xpEmitter, and in texture we drag our material already here. And if we play, let's zoom a little bit, NG, you can see the distribution now is changed to based on our noise. And let's select again the noise, and with NV back again. If we change the color in xpEmitter display and select the random color, or select our gradient random, and if we play, nothing happening, there is no change here, because if we select in object and texture tag here, image channel is on color, and color channel also is on color. We just put none, and now play again, and now we can see our colors. Let's change also the display editors from squares to spheres, and now let's play again. Now let's play with the texture itself. For example, if we make it the noise 500, now let's see how it look like. And it's more clear. We can see here that the white areas will be particles and the black areas will be no particles. And we can also play with the type of the noise that we have, and we can change it. For example, let's make this now 50, and let's play again. Let's now change the texture to default, and this time we use gradient. And with the gradient we can also play with the gradient type, and let's see how it look like. And you see here the black area is totally empty of any particles, and we can animate it and have control on the particles. Let's here change the type of the gradient, for example to star, and play again. And now just select xpEmitter, and in emission we just put a shot, and the number of shots, the shot count, we will put for example 8,000, and let's play again. And now visually we can better see the distribution of the particles based on our gradient or the noise type that we have here. And you can play with it, and you can see that how easily you can art direct the distribution of the particles on the surface of your map only based on the gradient type and also the noise type. Now let's play again with the noise. You can play here with the different type of the noise and see how your particles will be distributed based on your noise type and the scale of it. For example, you can change the scale, and if you want only particles be at this area, the white one, you have a lot of control with changing the only noise type. For example, you want to have the particles only at these areas. And let's play again, and you see easily we created, and you have a lot of control to art direct the particle distribution on the surface of your map. But here we have some small problem. If we a little bit zoom, you see all of the particles are like inside each other, and this is not what we want. We want to have a beautiful distance between the particles, and for this easily we select utilities, and we have xpCirclePacker, and in emitter we drag our emitter which generating these particles. And now let's play again. Only we can here display mode select for example the spheres, and let's play again. Now beautifully with the distance between the particles and the different scales are distributed on the surface of our map. Now with xpSpeed and motion modifier we can give some motion to our particles here. We don't need XpSprite here, let's delete it. We will have faster preview, and also let's bring our map, and if we select edges here and select our map with Ctrl A and Shift C and right here edge to spline, double click, and we create a spline here. Let's hide again our map, and we have our spline here to better visualize our map. And let's play again. And also in xpEmitter we change emission to shot, and shot count for example we can put 3000. Play again. And also the size of, with xpCirclePacker we can change the maximum radius to 5, and let's play again. We will select modifiers and motion modifiers, and here xpSpeed. And now all of the particles are moving suddenly. We don't want this. To have control on xpSpeed, we just select object and change operation from incremental to absolute. And now let's play again. And also a speed value, for example 50, will be more slowly. Now we need a field, and here we can use a shader field. You can select any kind of field you want, but with the shader field we have more control. And if we select shader field and now play, because we don't have any shader, we don't have any movement. So here we select, and we select again our favorite noise. And now let's play again. We have more randomness in moving and motion of particles. Now is more interesting. Just here again select, and we can play with the type of noise. Let's select again the dense and also contrast. We can add to it a little bit, and let's play again. Select generator, and here xpTrail, and drag our emitter here. Again we can back to shader field, and if we select xpSpeed shader field, and here easily art direct the contrast and the brightness, and also the global scale, for example 300. And also if we select xpEmitter, we can in display change the color in preview. Any colors that you like you can select to see better in previews. And you can, with selecting shader field on xpSpeed and playing with the type of the noise that we here have, art direct the motion of your data visualization on your map. Feel free to play with the different type of the noise and art direct and create your own style of data map visualization. If we select xpSpeed here in the field, we have shader field. We can remove this, and instead of shader field we can add our Texas map as an object that we already created, and just in xpSpeed we delete the shader field, and in the field we drag our map or this part of map as a field. Let's again hide it, and if we play again now, you see we are limited to this area that which is our Texas map already. And this is also a great technique that you can use to be focused on only a specific area. Let's hide it again. And also for colorizing, we can use here in control modifiers and XP color. And if you play, all of them are just simply one color, because in XP color object we have color only one color. We can change it, or we can add shader as a color, for example noise, and give a kind of randomness in the color of the map. And let's now select xpCirclePacker and make maximum radius, for example 3, a little bit smaller, and also the xpEmitter emission we can still add the number of counts. And let's back to XP color here, make the contrast a little bit higher, and we have more contrast in the colors. Let's keep only this black and white, we have better preview. If we select xpSpeed and in the field we select our field here, we have the mode for point and surface and volume and curvature. They can create different simulation for our motion graphics here when we play. For example, here now we have it on point, we can have it on surface, we'll have only the whole surface are moving. We can have all volume and also curvature. In curvature also you can have different type, for example direct. Let's make particle a little bit smaller here, xpCirclePacker, and we selected for example 1, and now let's play again. We can see better. Another thing we can do cool motion graphics is with the radius. For example, if we select here the radius and add a keyframe and make it for example 0, add a keyframe and go to the frame for example 50 and add 100 and add a keyframe, and now let's play again. You see kind of growing from the surface that we have from the Texas map. You can also restrict effect to inside, will be only inside, and also to the outside. And with the live you can also play. If you see they are very high here, you can control it. You can use here presets, for example will be fast slowly and fast here, then will be slow, and then will stop. Playing with the live graph also will give you a lot of control on the speed and the motion of the particles. If you want to add a second object or some text or number here, you can easily do it. Hold Alt and drag and make a copy from our emitter number 1. We call it emitter number 2, and also from xpSprite number 1 we hold Alt and drag, we call it xpSprite number 2. And if we select it here in emitter, we will drag instead of emitter number 1 our second emitter. And now if we play again, because both sprites have same sprite type disk, we cannot see any difference. We will change the sprite to, for example, to a cube, and let's play again. And we have now two different objects at the same time. And also the sprite number 1 is a type disk. Let's hide the number 2. You can change the radius and also playing with the segments and create different shapes for your visualization here easily by just playing with the segment or with the internal radius. And let's say the sprite number 2 we want to have some, instead of cube we want to have some numbers. Just you can select text here, and in the text we will select the numbers. We can keep it random numbers and create it for us beautiful for every object here one number. And also if you want to change the direction of numbers here easily in the sprite type, we can change from XY to XZ. And now let's play again. Now every surface and every object have a random number created for our map. And you can also always back to your sprite and change the segments here or playing with the internal radius. if the text size here is small for you and you want to make it bigger size, easily you can select our second sprite here, and scale using, we can, instead of using the particle radius, we can use particle scale. For changing the text size here, we only need in sprite select the text and the text height, make it for example 10, and you can see and easily you can here create the right size for you. Also the depth, you can play with it and you can easily art direct the size of the text. Now let's use XP Dynamic and create some cool simulations. We select Insidium, Xparticle, XP System, and we have already our map and MapViz line. We drag them to utilities. We select XP Emitter object, and we will select object because we want emit particles from our map. And if we play here with NG, we can see the lines and is emitting from the map. And now we wanted all of the particles follow the surface, and for this we will use modifier and motion modifier. We will select xpFlowSurface, and if we select xpFlowSurface, here you need an object, and we will drag our map here, and let's play again. And you see here the particles are following the surface, but they are a little bit doing very fast here. To control the speed, we just select XP Emitter emission, and the speed we will make 0. We don't want any speed. For speed we will use dynamics. We select XP Dynamic objects, and here we will use xpFlowField. If we select xpFlowField, nothing happens, but we have some visuals that shows us something is gonna happen. These are directions, and showing here we have random layer, and the field is on direction. We just need to change it on velocity, and as soon as we select on the surface, the particles are randomly moving. We do not want them randomly move. We want some kind of movement, like if look at this, like a weather visualization. We want to create some motion like this, that particles visualizing like a kind of weather motion graphics. For this, we will select xpFlowField, and the random layer we will deactivate, and we will add another layer here. From here we can select different kind of layers, but what we need here is surface tangent. We just click here, and in surface tangent we have here an object. We need the object as a surface. We can use our map that already have, and now you can see the direction are almost that what we want, like this direction, and then they are going this way. But still we can make it better. Here we can make the speed, for example, 50. Let's remove the fall off here. We don't need any fall off here. And also we can play with the strength, for example, 50. And also to visualize better, we can play with the xpFlowField display. You can change the type, for example, line, or the arrow that you can see the direction. And also the mode XP, you can play with it and choose the best that is aligned with your viewport. And now we need only some trace, add some trace to see better the preview. So in generator we here xpTray, and in xpTray emitter we drag our emitter. Let's select xpFlowField display. We do not want to see the vectors on display, these arrows. Now it's more clean, and created beautiful visuals and lines that exactly the movement and the motion that we want. This can be also stimulation, for example, for weather. Like they are moving from here and now they are turning this kind of direction. We can make it even better. If you can see here, we do not have any trails here and it's totally empty. And how we can make all of the surfaces have trails. With the NB, we back again to our map, and if we select our map here, we do not have any segment on it. Then we need to add some segment. For this we can also use Insidium mesh tools, and here we have remesh. And if we select here mesh tool remesh and drag it here, just drag our map here and create it for us segments. We can play with the remesh edge, for example 8, and we'll create more number of the segments. And with C on the keyboard we change to only one object, and now this is new map remesh. And we back again to xpFlowField on object, surface tangent object, we will drag the new remesh map. And also xpFollowSurface, we drag our new remesh map. And also when we select xpEmitter, here object is gone because we deleted, and we add the new one, the remesh one. And now let's play again. With ng, you can see now much better and more surfaces have created for us and generated the XP trails. And also you can art direct it with the number of emission. For example, you can use rate or you can use shot, and the shot number you can play with it, for example only 200. If you want to make the lines to the 3D objects easily, you can select generator, and here in generator we have XP spline measure, and in XP spline measure object you drag here XP trail, and with NB created for us a 3D models. Let's hide the map that we have here and only keep the outlines. And also in spline measure, the size we make it, for example 1, and let's play again. And now we can see everything easily in our render view. But if you want to now use Redshift as a renderer, and here in setting we select instead of standard Redshift, and now we're back to Redshift render view. If you play here, nothing we can see. For this we should do some small changes before. Here we select our xpEmitter, and to see the particles here we just right click and render tag, and we add RS object. And here mode we select, for example, sphere, and now we can see the particles. And here we can, with the scale, we can play, for example, make it smaller or make it bigger. You have here control. Let's stay with smaller one, but we want to also see the trails here. We can also do the same for XP trail. We just right click, render tag and RS object, and also we select, for example, cylinder, and here we have control with the thickness. And if we wanted to render the spline, the map spline, here we just again right click, render tag, add RS object, and the mode we change to cylinder. Everything now we have. Only we need now to give some colors and have control on colors. For particle, to control the colors, we can select here display, and here we can change the color mode from single to, for example, gradient random, and select the preset or your own colors here. But if you play here, here our colors change, but we don't have any material on it. And to give some materials and to keep also colors, we can select here material, and here we use particles, and just drag the particles here on emitter. Now we want to put also the same colors and random colors on our trails here, that they are only green default. Here we select material and again particle, but this time we call it trails. Now drag the trails on our XP trails, but only we see one color. If you want to see the color of the particles on trails, just we double click. Here we see our Xparticle output and particle color user data. We just remove it. We will search for vertex attribute. Just drag it here and color output on color. If we select the vertex attribute, here in attribute name we preset, we select curves, curve color polygons. Now the trails have exact color that we have here in xpEmitter. If we change the preset, for example, to full colors and play again, in render views we have the colorful particles and also the colorful trails at the same time. And easily and simple that you have control and you can art direct your map visualizations. If you want to have every polygons one particle, we can easily do it with just a click. Let's first in Insidium, in Mesh Tools, we select Remesh and drag our map here. If we select Remesh and edge length, by lowering the number, we will add to the number of the polygons. And on keyboard C, we create only just one map. And if we select here XP System, xpEmitter, emitter shape, object, we drag our map. We don't need any speed, and emit from we keep polygon center. Some of the surfaces do not have any particles, and if you want all of them have equally one particle, just easily activate one particle per source element. And now let's play. Easily created for every polygon one particle. Now we want to use another technique in this tip to create depths for every polygon that have one particle. For example, when they are moving, we wanted create the depths and the 3D surface. Here we have xpEmitter, emission, shot count 200, object is our map here, and emit from polygon center, and the speed for now just is 20, and when we play we have a slow speed, but we want every particle also take the surface and the polygon with itself. So here we have generators and we have xpFragmenter. Here emitter, we drag our emitter here, and now with NB we back again. Let's hide our map, and every particle take the surface and the polygon shape with itself, which is very great. And here we only need give some depth to it. We select our xpFragment, Shift C, thicken, and double click, and here just drag it here and create for every polygon depth. You can add to it and you can change the position to 100. Then if map back again, now let's see. If you don't want to move, just xpSpeed, speed 0, and easily for every polygon created a 3D geometry. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please remember to subscribe and like. Stay tuned for more exciting content. Happy creating!